invite him over to probably
called the
discuss
Murder
the Bible
Company.
or something. Who knows what they talked about? But several of them were then found
They were murder
dead
for
out behind the hotel. Later on. And so they would just, they would lure people in and kill them. And that's what they did, right over there.
There is a history of that.
It's kind of fun.
The way they put it, you could get almost anything for a quarter on 2-bit street. So,
2 5
had to
drive.
be careful. It was quite a street. It was wide open.
Once one of the wildest streets in the United States. I was a teenager. I thought it was great.
That's it, right there. Back then, they used to rob you with
Perhaps the most memorable
gun
resident
or
and
sex,
business
whatever.
person
Now
of
they rob you
25th
with a
Street
pen.
was Belle London, proprietor and manager of several hotels.
This alley over here behind the main street was called the Electric Alley.
Jazz, 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 jazz.
And that
Annabelle,
was
I
the
knew
back
Annabelle.
doors.
Annabelle hasn't been dead very
All
long.
the
She was
places.
a fucking
So anybody that didn't want to be seen,
huge African American
going
influence
back
here.
door.
Beautiful.
That was amazing.
Still kicking when I was a little boy, when I was a kid.
Over time, London established several brothels, hotels, and bordellos. She became well known as one of Ogden's foremost
So the
hostesses,
Earl was right
and
there.
was frequently
Store down
hired
in the
by
late
the city
60s.
council and
That was the big
businesses
one right there.
to entertain visiting guests. Her skills as an organizer and successful manager
She ran the
would
city.
eventually land her in the middle of one of the most curious business deals in the history of
Wait till you hear
Utah.
this.
She left Ogden and went to Salt Lake City. And the reason she went to Salt Lake City was
Hooked up with Brigham Young.
because Salt Lake City had a prostitution problem. There was a lot of people upset about it. And so what the city council did,
Hired her.
city council, they set aside a block and they put a wall around it. And they said, this will be the red light district. And they brought Belle London down to operate it.
Sorry about the visual. Got its mind.
Despite the nature of much of her business, London used her profits to educate
She used to
employees,
drive Brigham Young's
and she
cart around
frequently
this
gave
town.
to
She
the
owned
poor
it.
children of the
She was the
area.
only one that had any money. So when Brigham Young died, they put his fancy cart. She bought it. She used to drive around this town. She ran the city. Right there was her place. Right here behind my head.
She was a
right
believer
there.
of children, especially girls, and wanted them to be able to get their education and contribute to society in many roles.
What a great piece. Phil Reese,
All
what
of
a
this
gem.
decades before women's suffrage became a reality.
The prostitution was still going when I was a kid.
There is a necessity, there is a cause and a reason for all different types of life. People have quality regardless.
Now there's a gem.
of
I
what
knew
they
him
appear to
personally.
be
He was
from
the greatest.
another
Shooting
set
Stars
of
is
life.
still there. Buildus. The guy was a walking,
25th.
talking encyclopedia, Old West genius. He knew everything about Bridger and Weber and July Smith.
In the early 1900s,
By the way, Peter Steen
an
Ogden was never here.
out-of-shape boxer rode into
Here
town
we
with
go.
the intention
This
of
is
getting a
a great
fight
scene.
in the new Eagles Lodge Auditorium. To get himself ready, he found a job waiting tables at Kennedy's Coffee House on 25th Street. He trained at the nearby Eagles Gym and soon proved his fighting prowess.
Jack Dempsey.
He was noticed and signed for a fight at the Eagles Auditorium where he knocked out his opponent in a minute and 20 seconds.
White City used to be a gem. It was still there when
Nobody
I was a kid. The
heard from
chandeliers
him
are
for some
gone.
time
Everything got
until
looted and
July
stole out of
4th,
the city when I was a kid.
1919.
It's late
On that
70s,
day,
the 80s, they just stole
Jack
everything.
Dempsey knocked out Jess Willard for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Legend around here. When I was a kid, everybody spoke of him. By the way, he met his wife in a brothel.
Later, when
married
Kennedy's
her.
Coffee House's
She was
name was
famous here,
changed to Ross and Jack's, Dempsey never forgot his experience there. He visited the place every time he was in Ogden and spent hours reminiscing with the waiters who still worked
wife
there
was a
and who
freaking
knew
legend
Jack
around here,
when he
too.
was still a lowly waiter.
Like I said, he met her in a brothel. In Nevada, from what I understand. Not here, but I don't know if that part of it's true or not. But she was a legend around here. His wife. Look at this. So that's
Through
the
the
Orpheum Theater
1920s,
right there.
Ogden
They
businesses
tore it down.
and the number of passengers entering
Illegally.
in at its doorsteps would
Illegally.
continue to grow. However, as
The Sinai
quickly as it
Temple's
had
right
gained
next to
its
it,
steam,
so
it would all come
the Marx
to a
Brothers, George
halting
Burns says it's a
stop.
favorite place to. Well, here we go. I'm gonna turn on the
Early in the
camera, this will get
afternoon
better
of
visuals.
February 23rd, 1923,
We keep this
a
one.
laundry worker at the Ogden station was
We
ironing
see it good
linens
enough,
on the
right?
second floor.
This is important. This is important.
After finishing the work, the employee left the room, leaving the clothing iron on.
This is
Within
important
minutes,
that we're doing
a
this
fire
here.
began
This is
and
out in
spread
front
to
of
the
the Union.
entire building.
This is important history that we're recording here. I hope you can see it, but you know, we can look at
City
the
fire
junctions
engines were
online.
immediately called as flames now blazed from the
This
upstairs
will be the only time
windows.
in front of the Union. It's the original building, the Copenhagen Cathedral, which was patterned by the architect after the
As
one in
night fell,
Copenhagen.
firefighters worked tirelessly to fight the fire that spewed
Which I
from
still go
both
there,
ends
some
of the
rotten in the
station
New Denmark.
as a host of locals watched the horrific sight.
Right here on the marsh. Who's the savages? Jim Bridger, 1820s when the fur trappers were here. And the first robber barons. First they come for the fur, then gone.
When morning came, city officials and
Just
local
keeps going.
residents gathered at the site to see the destruction that had taken place.
Let me stand up, I want to get this.
The fire had destroyed much of the city, gutted most of the buildings, and left only a skeleton of the city's once proud local treasure.
I worked on this. There was a grad student who put this together at Weber State. For the 100 year, BYU was not happy. The state of Utah was not happy with this piece, by the way.
But even with the disastrous loss, nothing could stop the demands of railway traffic, and the station was forced to remain open despite its dangerously frail condition. In the meantime, a debate in the city government ensued to decide whether to repair the building
Yeah, because the
or to start all
scumbag
over.
UP and SP, which are scumbags, who wouldn't do anything with this thing,
The
wouldn't do
debate
anything
would
with
be
it now.
short-lived,
They
however.
gave this to Ogden, by the way.
Several days after
Let
the
it be
fire,
looted.
a ticket
All
clerk
they've ever done
named
is
Frank
loot
Yetzer
Ogden,
was
Utah.
busily going about his
You know, the
duties
CEO's
when a
got the balls
large
to come
stone,
speak
nearly
here.
3 feet in height,
The old
dislodged
days,
itself
I mean,
from the
these
frail
old
clock
railroaders
tower.
would have, oh, they were the
Without
shit.
warning,
Should have seen the
it fell
strikes when they shut
several
down this
stories
city.
to his
They
desk.
ran this city.
The enormous 250-pound stone struck Yetzer directly on the head.
Killed
He
him.
was killed instantly. The unexpected occurrence
So I'll give you some
expedited the
information
decision
that's not in
process,
this.
and
This
work on
was
the new
built by
station
the
began immediately.
USC
Built on the foundation of its predecessor,
Architect.
the new Union Station would assume
The
a simple
LA architect.
Renaissance design, complete with a tile roof
new
and
one.
huge windows.
Look
in
at the
upper levels.
chandeliers. They
A
got stolen
massive
out of
central
here.
hall, capable of holding thousands of
Everything
waiting
got looted
passengers,
out of here.
would be illuminated with 3 impressive circular chandeliers.
They're missing. We have some of the benches. Most of the benches are missing. You know, they just let it go to fucking hell. You know, they handed it to the city, and the city didn't know jack. They still don't know
Within
jack.
hours of its opening, the lobby was filled with hundreds of traveling passengers, and it would never
I
empty
can all the visuals on
until
tech great,
decades
but we
later.
can look up. It's called the Junction. And we can look it up online, but it's a
I've
historical
said it
record.
many times in that big old waiting area to think what it would have been like.
I rode this train. You should have seen this
Hundreds
place.
of thousands of people
Oh my
going
God,
about
you should have
there,
seen it.
waiting for their train.
They'd come get on the train. It was legal for teenagers to drink on the Federal Rail Line, so we'd drink. We'd ride to Oregon, to San Francisco. The place was booming when I was a kid. You shouldn't have believed it. 1980, it's like somebody just drew a line in the chalk and it was over. Line in the sand and all the wealth. It's like
You know, I
they
have
took
it
their,
sit there
they
just
raided, they
almost
looted
didn't
this
hear it.
town long enough and they left. They were done looting. The Brownies, the Echoes, the D's. The D's still did the hospital, but you know, it was called Brownsville. The first one was, here was like Jim Bridger. Peter Skeen Ogden was never an Ogden. They were going to call it, it should have been called Bridger. It should have been called Bridger. He was the original guy. He was the original scout, you know, showing the
Union
French how to loot
Station
the...
would continue to serve the millions of passengers streaming across the railroad lines.
Glad I got that. We'll do
By
more.
now,
We'll do
Ogden
more.
was the main junction point for all traveling passenger cars going from San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, Denver, Portland, and Salt
The
Lake
great
City.
robber barons.
The city's Chamber of Commerce boasted, "You can't go anywhere without